Hello and welcome back to another episode of Clean Eating Hacks. We're your host. My name is umpf. I am the owner of Artisan's Palette and also the owner of iamacleaner.com, cleaneater.com, hence the name here on our trusted mugs. And I'm joined again by Charissa Bradley.
Welcome back. Thank you for joining us.
We're going to teach you today how to make a hot beverage, which can be either coffee or tea, or what we're always drinking, which is the macchiato. And there's a lot of talk right now about the benefits of adding fat to your hot beverage. And I think we can all thank Dave Asprey from Bulletproof
Absolutely.
for really starting this trend and really talking about the benefits of it, and he's the expert on it, so I want to give kudos to him for that.
Absolutely.
What we do in the store is we edit certain things, because not everybody wants coffee, not everybody wants macchiato, so we give them options. So the base of the hot beverage is some form of hot liquid. It could be a coffee, macchiato, wild chaga tea, maybe a black tea, maybe even a green tea if you wanted to.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay,
I've done it as a chai.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's a great choice. Yeah, chai would be great for this. Then the second component is adding some form of fat. So some people use ghee, some people use Kerrygold butter, but neither one of those are vegan options. And if you're a clean eating vegan, an easy substitute would be to use the raw cacao butter. And this is what raw cacao butter looks like. And we use it so much we make chocolate with this. When somebody wants a drink, we will say, vegan style, we always substitute the ghee for the raw cacao butter. And it gives it a really nice kind of chocolate flavor.
That aroma from it.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so good. Then the second component to the same drink is after you've decided on the butter, you decide on a coconut oil. So there's two types. Actually, we really like the Caveman Coffee coconut oil. There's different chains. There's C6, C8, C10, C12, and this is the blend of C8 and C10, which is what you want from your MCT oil. MCT stands for medium chain triglycerides, and it's 100% pure coconut oil.
Yes.
The coconut oil here is also very good, but it is 75% MCT oil. And some coconut oils, when you go and buy them, they won't even tell you the percentages of MCT oil. So that's a good question to kind of ask and find out for yourselves. Then we also, this I'm going to talk about in the end, just a second. Then the third component is to get a sweetener. And so we have many choices for a sweetener. In here we can do xylitol or stevia. We can do the date syrup, which is always my preference. I love this stuff. It's smooth and just tastes so good. It's sweet on its own. It's one ingredient, dates, organic dates. And then the coconut palm sugar, which is high in B vitamins and also low in the glycemic index. But when we make it for ourselves, we don't put any sweetener in it. But if you want
optional.
it's totally optional. If you wanted it, you can add that in there. And then finally, oh my gosh, this is one of my, I love this product. This is called No Brainer, and there's several different flavors. We've picked 3 of the flavors. They have 4. There's an original here that's not in the picture. And there's a hazelnut, vanilla bean, and mocha. And in here is ghee, which we mentioned. Actually, I might have forgot to mention the ghee. We do add ghee instead of raw cacao butter if we're not doing vegan style. It has MCT oil, also a blend of the C8 and C10, and an added ingredient in here called sunflower lecithin, which is really high in choline and amazing for brain health. And we'll talk about that as we assemble the drink. So I'm going to go around. Those are the components to be making one of these hot beverage drinks with a good fat in it. So, Charissa?
Okay, I'm going to start making the coffee. So we're using West Beans beans. The reason we do that is because they are incredibly high quality, all organic, and no mold. no mold. So one of the big problems with coffee is that it molds very easily. So if you're out in the grocery store and you're buying your coffee off the shelf, there's a very high likelihood that there is mold growing in that coffee. And if you ingest a lot of mold, then we end up seeing problems like candida overgrowths, bacteria overgrowths. We see that dysbiosis of the gut. So it's really important to make sure that the nuts that you're eating and the beans that you're consuming for coffee are not mold, or do not have mold. So this is one of the companies that we absolutely love, we totally support, and we use them for everything in our store. If you were to come in here and order a cup of coffee, every single time we make it fresh. So I'm going to grind the beans. And then we use a French press here in the store. So I'll go ahead and put that in the French press. Beautiful. Oh my gosh, if you ever smell like fresh ground beans, it's just unreal.
Can you use it?
Oh yes, absolutely. I'm gonna get every last bit out of this, make a nice, strong cup of coffee. Okay, and then we heat our water. Okay, we heat our water, and this we let steep for exactly 4 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour my water into my press, mix it around a little bit. Perfect. Give it a little stir so that I get all those grounds cooking for me. And then we're going to let this steep for just a few minutes. When you're making a butter coffee or a bulletproof coffee, if you will, if you're following Dave Asprey, that's what he calls it, bulletproof, where you're adding in the fats, it's so important to blend it and let it blend for a little while, because we really want to get that good, creamy kind of latte feel. So we're going to show you, after this is done steeping, how we blend just our traditional, what we call in the store the prana coffee. So it's just the coffee, the vanilla bean ghee that we use from 4th Apart. That's it actually has vanilla bean flavor, or vanilla beans in it. So it's got that little bit of sweetness without adding any sugar to it. We're not going to add a sugar, but we are going to show you adding the vanilla bean ghee and then blending it up, and how it totally changes the consistency of the coffee. It becomes this very frothy, incredible latte, creamy type situation. And the same thing goes when we do our macchiato, as you'll see in a video that we did previously. We did the macchiato with the vanilla bean ghee, and then we actually added the collagen peptides to that as well, so that we're getting that added benefit of the collagen, the gut healing, gut sealing, so that we have that really good kind of powerhouse to start the day. So if you're doing that with you're absolutely welcome to do that with your coffee. If you're blending your coffee, the collagen gives it this kind of almost like a head on the top of the coffee, where it makes it, where if you went to a coffee shop and you ordered a latte and they steamed the milk for you, and you get that nice fat rim of steamed milk, you get that using the collagen peptides without having to add any dairy or any steaming or pay the $5 it costs to go get a coffee made like that. What else?
With the coffee, what I like is the versatility of the options that you can put in it.
Oh, absolutely.
So we love the vanilla bean ghee because, I mean, just the flavor that it imparts.
Such a richness.
But like I said, if you wanted to just do the coconut oil,
Yep.
or the cacao butter, then you're just going to get a different flavor. You still get that frothiness though too, don't you think?
Oh,
when
absolutely.
You mix it,
when you blend it, you're still, I mean, even if you just did the coconut oil, you'll get that same frothiness. Just blending, giving that whipping option.
Yeah.
And really, we like to blend it a little bit longer than you think is necessary. So, like I said with the macchiato, when we did the macchiato video, we blend that for about 3 to 4 minutes on high. And I like to tell people, when you really feel like it's done, and you're done, like you're gonna turn the blender off, you're annoyed with the sound of the blender, let it go another minute. Then it just adds so much to it.
Yes, I agree. And I think the flavor profile difference with the ghee is that it's a richer flavor.
Yes.
So even though the other fats come in, I don't feel they're as excuse me, they're as, I guess, as rich.
Yeah, I agree. They're not as
That's
rich.
probably the best.
And they
way to
don't
describe it.
change the flavor of the coffee as much. So if you're
Yeah.
just doing the coconut oil, you might find that you need to add something like the date syrup or the coconut palm sugar, a little xylitol. But when you switch over and see maybe with the cacao butter if you're vegan, or the vanilla bean ghee if you're not, you might have enough of a richness, enough of a flavor change to not need any added sweetener to it. So I mean, totally.
You know what I want to
personal
add to
preference.
this too? Is a customer had come in and she bought the turmeric ghee.
Oh.
Okay, we have a turmeric ghee in the store.
Yes, we do.
And she put raw cacao, not the raw cacao butter, but raw cacao
Okay.
powder.
Powder.
Okay. So she said, I guess she has a history with India. She had lived there for a while.
Okay.
And she said it's very common to mix cacao and turmeric together.
You know, I've seen that recently in chocolate bars that they are adding turmeric with the chocolate in a chocolate bar. So
Yeah.
I mean, turmeric it has a flavor, but it's more of an aroma. Turmeric, in my opinion.
Yes.
So when you're drinking anything with turmeric, you're more smelling it and rather than a taste to it. So
Yes.
you can add it to things without really ruining any kind of texture, ruining any kind of flavor, but really add that benefit of the antioxidant and the anti-inflammatory.
Right.
So that's the biggest thing with the turmeric is you want to get
Yeah.
down on the inflammation. The cacao and cacao butter are also anti-inflammatory. So if we're looking for that anti-inflammation, adding the turmeric, adding the cacao, adding the raw cacao powder, which is really chocolatey, with the ghee, you're getting the fat plus the antioxidant plus the anti-inflammation. It's a real powerhouse. This is not like your morning cup of coffee.
Right.
This is a real, healing modality for you.
And it can be a meal replacement depending
Absolutely.
on how many things you add to it.
Absolutely. If
Yeah.
you're adding the collagen peptides and the fat, and a little bit of sweetness, you're getting your protein, fat, carbohydrates, plus the antioxidant and your little boost of caffeine or your boost of energy with the macchiato or the changa tea. You're getting all of the components that you need. It might not be a full, 3-4 hours before your next meal, but it would be a good, boost. I've got 2 hours before I'm going to eat breakfast with my family. This is a really good way to start the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel for me, to be honest, Teresa, sometimes it is 4 hours.
Right.
Like I'll have my macchiato
Yeah.
here at the store because it's not like I can, let me whip up a breakfast.
Sure,
for
sure,
myself
sure.
'cause I'm busy with the store.
Cooking eggs. Hold on, I'll be right with you. I'm making some eggs and bacon.
And so, I have it and I'm like, then I look at my clock and I'm like, oh my gosh, or on my phone, and it's like, it's already like 2 o'clock.
Right.
And-
No, that happens to me
Yeah.
too. And I would never recommend skipping a meal ever because
Right.
you don't ever want your body to be running on hormones or adrenaline or cortisol. You want to be running on calories and glucose. That's what we need, or fat if you're doing the keto. You want to be running on energy that your body is taking in and burning, not energy that your body is creating and burning. That's how we create fat cells. That's how we become toxic. But if you're doing something like this, such an incredible powerhouse, you're running still on energy that you've provided for your body, and your body hasn't switched over into burning itself. So that's very important. I wanted to briefly mention how coffee has kind of gotten a bad rap in the last couple of years. People say, like, stop drinking your coffee. I host a Whole30 class here in the store at Artisan's Palette the last Thursday of every month. And at the end of the class, people ask me, but when am I going to get to drink my coffee again? And I say, you can drink your coffee the whole time. Coffee is an incredible, again, antioxidant. It isn't something that you should be drinking all day. The reason it got a bad rap in the first place is because it is a diuretic. Diuretic meaning it pulls water out of your body. So as long as you're staying hydrated, it's a really great way to fight those free radicals and give yourself a good little boost, but don't become dependent on it. It shouldn't be the thing you're doing all day long.
And remember, a good quality coffee.
It has to be good.
It's good quality.
It has
coffee.
to be good.
That's the trick.
I mean, if you're going to Costco and getting the bulk, big old box of, Folgers or whatever, that big container that's already ground and you're just taking a scoop of it every day, most likely you're putting more chemicals in your body than anything else. I mean, it's covered in pesticides. Coffee has no amount of pesticides that's like a legal stopping point. So they can put as much on
really?
as they want, and they spray it, you know, they
Yeah.
fly over in an airplane, they just dump that stuff over it. So, I mean, it's worse than going and eating non-organic fruits and vegetables or berries or things that are on the ground getting sprayed. We absolutely need to be drinking organic coffee. If that's even one of the only switches that you make, that's a good switch to make.
At least start there.
At least start there. Yeah, absolutely. And it's an easy switch. It tastes better. It might cost you $1 more, but think about what it's going to provide you for your health. So, I mean, really.
You're right.
Okay, so my French press has been going for a few minutes now, and I'm going to go ahead and press it down and get my beautiful, I mean, this coffee is so amazing and smells so amazing. Because it's nice and hot, I'm going to use the vanilla bean ghee. I'm using the vanilla bean ghee on the spoon. Again, you could either do the
Rocky
raw
cow
cacao butter, the coconut oil, whatever option that you want. It's about the same thing. So it's a tablespoon per cup of coffee or serving.
And you can mix them, right?
Absolutely.
So if we want you to put coconut oil in this too with the vanilla bean ghee, you could totally do that. Again, we want to stress no rules. Play,
Absolutely.
have fun. That was
Yeah.
the purpose of mentioning the turmeric ghee and putting in the Rocky Cow powder, or turmeric ghee with the Rocky Cow butter would be perfectly fine too.
Absolutely. I mean, really, anything that you want, just think about all the benefits. The more you add, the more benefit you're going to be getting from this. And really, if you don't want to think about any of that at all, and you just want a one-hit thing, and you don't even want to have to be concerned about how much of what, how much of this, or how much of that, then you use the no-brainer packets, because these are already pre-mixed. They've got the MCT, they've got the coconut, they've got the fat, they've got everything you need, plus a little bit of a sweetener. So if you're looking for a coffee creamer replacement, go ahead and add this in, and then
It's
the more you
naturally
add-
sweet. I
Absolutely.
don't think they
No,
put any
there's no
stevia
sweetener
or anything in there.
Oh no, I don't
Yeah.
mean that they're a sweetener, I just
Just
mean that there's
naturally.
a flavor.
Yes.
So like hazelnut has real hazelnut flavor
Right.
in it. It's not hazelnut plus high fructose corn syrup, it's just hazelnuts on their own have a nice flavor. The vanilla bean actually is flavored with vanilla bean.
Right.
And then the mocha has the cacao. So you really are adding a benefit either way. So I'm gonna go ahead and blend this. And it doesn't take long. You'll start to see that it turns a really creamy consistency. And if you saw, my coffee started out really dark. It was almost black, the richness of this coffee. And you'll see it turns a caramel color just by adding that ghee to it. I'm going to show you in a clear glass because that's really going to showcase this color here. It kind of amazes me every time the color changes.
And I think it matters the amount of time that you mix it.
I agree.
Yeah, so we try to, for the store, we try to be as consistent as possible.
Yes.
So if I'm making the drink, or if you're making the drink, we have a couple other people working here when they're making the drink.
Yeah.
We don't want somebody saying, oh, but I want you to make it just like how Pia makes it, or how Sharissa makes it. You know, it's got to be consistent. So we're
Yeah.
usually with a timer.
We're about 1 minute.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and we do time with the coffee press too, that's 4
Yeah.
minutes, and we time for the blender 1 minute. So I'm gonna go ahead and let this go and show you this color here. And we're using a Vitamix here in the store, but you're more than welcome to use any blender that you have at home. You certainly don't have to have a Vitamix, and you certainly don't have to go buy any new equipment in order to make this at home. So here's that color, like I said, it's almost like this beautiful kind of caramel color. And then it creates this really lovely
I'll bring it up there.
cap. Yes,
Oh my God,
please.
it's so beautiful.
It's perfect. And it smells amazing. I mean, this is just, if you have someone who's, skeptical about this whole thing, make this for them. And give it to them without telling them exactly what's in it, as long as you're not, giving it to someone who's vegan or something like that. But have them try it, because this is something that's so different, thank you, and outside of most people's comfort zones. So it's, sometimes it's good to just lead by example, give them a try. Look at how beautiful this is. I mean, either way you start your day with something like this, it can't go wrong.
Cheers. Until next time, I'll see ya.
Thank you.